Onimusha, Way of the Sword. Tiene un pintón esto. A ver qué le ha parecido a IGN.
It's safe to say we're
parece lo del Genichiro, Justo.
Sekiro and Ghost of Tsushima lead a pack of accomplished duelers where every strike, lunge and parry feels supremely satisfying. Hoping to find a place among them is Onimusha Way of the Sword, Capcom's long-awaited
la cámara está... vale.
slumbering since the
Quería que estaba más cerca, vale.
And based on a small sample I've been able to play at Gamescom 2025, I'd say its chances are looking very good indeed.
Buah, qué pintón.
No challenge.
Set in a dark fantasy reimagining of Kyoto during the Edo period of Japan, Onimusha Way of the Sword has you take up the sharpened blades of Miyamoto Musashi, a swordsman sporting both the face of the late legendary actor Mifune Toshiro and a talking gauntlet that eats the souls of dead enemies.
Toshiro Mifune.
It must have been awakened by the dark master.
What was that?
That second point is the more pertinent one. Fallen foes drop souls, represented by flames that float around the battlefield before being sucked up by your
Se ve guapísimo, El puto motor este, tío.
Right, before you get any wrong ideas, Onimusha may have souls, but it is absolutely not a Souls-like.
Gracias!
Action difficulty setting,
Gracias!
is not particularly punishing, at least not in this 30-minute demo, which admittedly does feel plucked from a very early stage in the story. It certainly requires skill to get the most out of its enjoyably flashy combat, but generous parry windows, a block that protects from all angles, and cushioned enemy attacks mean Onimusha seems on track to be one
me gusta.
El
parry es generoso.
Not just the FromSoft fanatics. And while I would have liked to have faced a steeper challenge in this demo, the foes I faced, especially the end of level boss, felt well judged.
Vale, es que es una demo, claro. O sea, una demo y un tutorial incluso parece, ¿no? Que te va explicando cada control y tal.
I'm particularly impressed by how combat is built on a foundation of both health and stamina. Enemies are, of course, defeated by bottoming out their health bars, but each time you strike or deflect their attacks, you erode away their stamina bar. If that hits 0, the foe becomes exhausted, quite literally pausing to catch their breath. This is, of course, the perfect time to strike. A single button press triggers a break Isun move that violently dismembers your target. The animations are gloriously extravagant and can be chained together if a couple of enemies have been exhausted at the same time. For regular enemies, breaking their stamina spells instant death, and because parries quickly exhaust fodder, you're rewarded for honing that skill.
Vale, con enemigos genéricos los matas de una hostia.
Witness cool kills. I'm deeply amused by how you can deflect arrows back at archers who then, winded by their own projectile, stand around simply awaiting their fate of single-click decapitation.
Vale, los devuelve.
Eso
me recuerda al sable del Fallen Order.
Cuando
devuelves los
disparos del láser. Gauntlet is a much fiercer affair in which you'll deplete his stamina bar at least once before being able to deal the final blow. In this situation, an alternative version of Break Isun plots 2 marks on your target. Strike the red one, and you'll be rewarded with a burst of extra damage.
Mola.
Hit the purple to generate a bonus batch of souls.
Vale, puedes elegir farmear más o hacer más daño. Está bien.
And that brings us back to souls. These flickering flames are color-coded. Red souls are used to purchase upgrades, while blue souls feed your Oni power gauge, which when full can be used to unleash special attacks. Yellow souls, meanwhile, are rarer and replenish your health. All 3 are vital, not just for their individual properties, but for how they form a cycle.
What could be more fun?
For
instance, es que está guapísimo, es que parece una coreografía,
equipped with the 2 Celestials, a twin dagger special weapon that reaps yellow souls from fallen enemies. It can only be used when the Oni power gauge is topped off. As it's a powerful attack that requires resources, it's sensible to use it against tougher opponents who, naturally, deal more damage. Killing such foes with the 2 Celestials basically refunds damage that you take thanks to the yellow souls the attack creates.
Vale.
And so there's the cycle. You kill foes to gain blue souls, which powers up the ability to use special attacks, which cause your enemy to drop yellow souls, which instantly heal you from the wounds sustained during that fight. It perhaps doesn't feel quite that elegant in game, but there's a clear system upon which battle thrives. There are other examples of that too. Successful parries generously build a diamond-shaped meter that eventually causes your blade to temporarily erupt with damage-buffing blue sparks. Hitting that mark feels fantastic. The animation alone makes it feel as if the battle has been hit by a shot of
Qué
adrenaline.
guapo, o sea, han creado un sistema que se interconecta por completo, tío.
Buff seemingly indefinitely. It's another smart system that rewards consistent skill with your blade.
Está
It's only when I
guapísimo,
came to write this preview that I realized that Onimusha is very much a game about managing gauges and meters. You need
Esto
to
para
defeat
veranito
health
entraría
bars and
guay,
stamina meters, build
Para
power gauges,
julio,
and keep
agosto del
other
año que
buff
viene.
providing vessels topped up. On paper,
Porque
that may sound
en febrero
dull
sale
and overly
Requiem.
mathematical for a game about supernatural
Bueno,
samurai
claro,
fighting
Capcom
through
tiene Requiem,
demon-infested
Pragmata,
feudal Japan. But in
Onimusha,
practice, it works well.
alguna
That's
expansión
entirely
tocha
down to
del
the fact
Wilds,
that the
supongo.
implement for juggling those meters, your sword, feels fantastic to wield.
Más lo que no sepamos, claro. Es verdad, Monster Hunter Stories, no me acordaba. O Camino creo que es el año que viene, la verdad. Okami tiene pinta de que se va a 27.
So extravagantly slick, slicing through the amusingly gross regular Genma enemies, which range from mutant swordsmen.
Yo creo que este para verano entra bien, tío. O sea, Resident en febrero, este en verano, Pragmata otoño. Yo lo veo más o menos así correcto.
Science to nailing the feel of when steel lands on steel, and Capcom has absolutely cracked that. There's an energetic flow each time the warrior's blades.
Es que mola un montón, tío, la movilidad que tiene el juego.
And while the duel against Ganryu doesn't feel destined to go down as an all-timer, it is ultimately too easy to enter those halls. I think it acts as a decent enough promise that, further into the campaign, there will be something that stands up to the very best of Ghosts of Tsushima. The Gamescom demo may have been short, little more than some winding paths and a boss fight in a temple, but it's more than enough to convince me that Onimusha Way of the Sword is built on rock-solid swordplay fundamentals. I'm genuinely excited to master them and take on its campaign's toughest challenges. But it's also made me curious about several other things. As a tutorial-styled section, the demo had no real exploration opportunities, so it's currently unclear what kind of scope the environments will work with. Then there's the story, which caught me off guard with its humor. There's hints of an amusingly rocky relationship between Musashi and the voice inside his Oni gauntlet.
To purify this temple.
Encima está hecho un poco de coña la historia, eso me mola,
Right,
Eso me mola.
enough of that. If you're awake, I've got
I
questions.
refuse.
Que no se tome en serio, está guay.
Listen here.
I won't answer questions or otherwise. To gauntlet lady.
And the pre-boss battle banter was just on the right side of goofy. I'm fascinated to see where Capcom has drawn the line between a dark samurai tale and sparky anime humor. But even if that line ultimately ends up drawing an uneven balance, I'm confident Onimusha's razor-sharp combat will more than make up for a few bad jokes. For more from Capcom, check out our Gamescom 2025 previews of Resident Evil Requiem and Pragmata. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
Ojalá pongan la demo pública, tío, estaría muy guay, que la subieran a Play, a Steam y tal. Estaría muy guay. Me mola.